بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على قتلتهم وأعدائهم أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ali al-Habib, coming live to you from the minor land of Fadak. Welcome to the Ali al-Habib show. For mostly, we approach the domain of sanctity. To our awaited Imam, blessings be upon him, we convey our most heartfelt condolences upon the demise commemoration of Lady Zainab, blessings be upon her, the daughter of the commander of the faithfuls, Ali ibn Abi Talib, and daughter of the Lady of Heaven, 𝗦𝗨𝗕𝗦𝗧, blessings be upon her. The lady who continued the legacy of her mother in her stand against the tyrannical, oppressive, usurped governments. The lady who is a school that we must all learn from and carry her cause to the world. We, in your name, ladies and gentlemen, approach the Imam of our time with our most heartfelt and deepest condolences on the commemoration of her martyrdom or demise. Blessings be upon her. Ladies and gentlemen, before we open the lines for the callers and before we interact with the YouTube chat, we would like to relay to you the most latest news and updates for the awaited film, for the untold story, which the world are waiting for, the Lady of Heaven, the story about Fatima, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad. I have brought amongst you or in front of you the news article online, the worldwide article or news outlets, Films Daily. And I would like to recite to you, read out to you, the most latest news as of yet. And I must denote here that though this is the latest as of yet, however, in the coming week, there will be a new update, an update that you have all been waiting for. A new phase regarding the release of this film. A new breach, pushing the film forward, making it surpassing, or making the film surpass most films or other films in competition for its release and for other matters that you will hear soon. I read out to you the latest news regarding the Lady of Heaven trailer. Ladies and gentlemen, in the big headlines it says, millions of viewers await the premiere of the Lady of Heaven film. The long-awaited release of the Lady of Heaven is almost here. Soon, fans everywhere will follow along with the lady or with Lady Fatima's heart-wrenching story on the big screens across the world. The Lady of Heaven trailer came out in late 2020. Now, over 2 million have captivated, or over 2 million have been captivated by just a glimpse of this beautiful tale. Over 400 people have filmed their reactions, showing just how moving the Lady Fatima's story is. Though this is the latest article that I am reading to you, but we have now surpassed the number of 600, or close to it, 600 reaction videos counted for the Lady of Heaven trailer, making it a phenomenal, exceptional, spectacular instance for the cinematic industry. Indeed, the films around the world, trailers, teasers, and sometimes the full film, would never exceed the number of 150 reactions or 200 max. Well, the Lady of Heaven is in a complete different category due to the support and astonishing organic support, I must say, from millions around the globe worldwide, made this film surpass the number of 600 reaction videos. The 400 quoted in the article has been indeed surpassed in the last, I would say, 1.5 weeks at least. The film is a collaborative effort between diverse religious experts and an endlessly dedicated film staff. Directing The Lady of Heaven was a team effort between many creatives, united in the goal to tell Lady Fatima's story with the utmost respect and precision. Sheikh al-Habib is the writer of the film, and John Stephenson Obi will be credited officially as the creative consultant. The Lady of Heaven follows a young Iraqi child's journey amidst a battle-scarred country to learn the importance of the power of patience. After losing his mother to the war, the child finds himself in the home of a doting grandmother who narrates the tale of the lady. There, the young child learns of Lady Fatima's suffering as the first victim of terrorism that spirals into the 21st century. The lady is held dear in the hearts of billions around the world, but her story has never been shared through a film. Her story is a universal one that we can all learn from, teaching us the best response to corruption and power-hungry politicians. The filmmakers explain she is a powerful and important historical character that many in the world have never been introduced to. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I must say, is a shortcoming from our side. That we have waited until the 21st century, until 2021, to share this film and to share the story of the lady. The world deserves to know the story of this lady long time before the year 2020 or 2021. But indeed, and thanks to Allah the Almighty, we have witnessed this day where the world shall know the Lady of Heaven and shall know her as the woman, the lady who stood for justice, equality, peace, and stood firmly and strongly in the face of a tyrant, in the face of tyrants, corruption, oppression, and tyranny. The lady shall indeed be an icon for the world. Hundreds and millions around the world shall remember this lady and be inspired by her story and character. It is only a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen, before you see this in your own eyes. From my position, you may say you are hyping up the film and this is normal from you. This is after all, you are, let's say, you have an acquaintance or a relationship with the company which produced the film. After all, you are under that umbrella, the Mahdi Servants Union. So of course you will say such things. I would say don't hasten, ladies and gentlemen. Very soon you will see with your own eyes and admit and say, truly, this launch, this film is a remarkable occurrence. Expectations for the Lady of Heaven are already high, and anticipation for the forthcoming debut continues to rise. Even the film's trailer went viral within only a few days of its release. Released on Film Select's, the YouTube trailer platform, the Lady of Heaven trailer gained massive organic support. And once again, I stress to explain this term or this statement. Organic support. The Lady of Heaven film was not advertised, was not sponsored in any way, shape or form. This is why all these news outlets from around the world, worldwide, are absolutely startled by the massive support from around the world. And what's more shocking to them is that it is organic. What do I mean by organic? Organic in the sense that any type of advertisement, any type of sponsorship, any type of even announcement. We did not even announce the coming of the trailer. We did not even announce the coming of a trailer. Nothing. Complete, sudden. With a film that is produced by a first or a new production company. With not that very famous of a director. Fair to say it's a director's first movie or first film, first production. And with no form of sponsorship or advertisement for it to get 600 reaction videos and over 2,100,000 within the period, views within the period of a month or two, is absolutely startling. I believe anyone would agree. So how about when we start or launch the campaign? The dissemination campaign that goes or that is active in countries globally. Australia, Canada, USA, UK of course, and other countries. Germany, Berlin, of course, the capital. France. This world will be illuminated with the Lady of Heaven posters everywhere. We, inshallah, will launch this campaign as soon as a date for the release is specified, inshallah. And this is how films usually take their course of distribution or sponsorship or advertisement, I should say. When the date is specified, when the release date is specified. So all of this, all of these news articles that we spoke about in the other shows, in the prior shows, all of this noise, all of this rattle that the Lady of Heaven caused to the world within a short period of time, without any form of sponsorship or advertisement. What if we start this campaign? What if the Enlightened Kingdom Productions launch its distribution campaign and advertisement campaign, making merchandise, leaflets, news articles, or any type of advertisements for the film, seeing the Lady of Heaven on billboards in the streets, planted on buses in the world's most infamous cities, capital cities, Berlin, Sydney, Los Angeles, California, and all of these cities worldwide. What will happen then? What will happen then, ladies and gentlemen? I am confident that if we put our hands together and if we work in order to convey the message of the lady to the world, we shall indeed break the world's record for a trailer's most viewed. For a most viewed trailer. Many people may see it's far now, but indeed the upcoming days will be the measure between us. It skyrocketed, and this term is really beautiful. It skyrocketed to over 1 million views, more than 85,000 likes, and almost 100,000 comments in a matter of 4 days. 4 days, ladies and gentlemen. It is a rare thing to see approval and excitement of this level for a non-studio film. And this is indeed an advancement for this film, another quality for this film that deserves to be noted. And here they put the image of the lady under the tree of Arak, where she spent her time crying and shedding tears in remembrance of her father, and agony out of what happened to her. We continue the article. It says, the story of the lady has never been shown on the big screen, and thus has created mass anticipation ahead of the film's release. There are 250 films on Jesus Christ, 120 films about Moses, 80 about other prophets, 40 films about Buddha, but there are none about the life of the lady Fatima, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad until now, commented the filmmakers. The Muslim community hasn't seized as much opportunities as they can in film and media. The last major film pertaining to this history of Islam was The Message back in the 1970s. There have been some TV series, attempts at films and series here and there, but nothing significant has been done. I guess why a film has not been done until now is a missed opportunity. A truly profound statement. It is not about Fatima. Here it says, it is not just about Fatima. It is all that whole rich history. We picked the lady because she is a brilliant, fascinating woman for all Muslims, who all Muslims have deep love for. And here they put the picture or image of the famous incidents of Al-Ghadir. The incidents which all Muslims have a deep love for. The film also depicts the historical roots of ISIS, giving viewers a look into this infamous terrorist group origins. The Lady of Heaven artfully compares terror groups throughout history, starting with the Lady of Heaven, Lady Fatima, all the way to the 21st century. With these themes in mind, viewers may be able to walk away from theatres with a new insights into modern day terror groups. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, let this be a quote, that this film, The Lady of Heaven, answers the world's most profound questions. All these questions about the religion of Islam, all this confusion, all this violence, terror, bloodshed and killing. This film shall explain to the world and to everyone worldwide the very roots to these crimes and terrorist organizations. From where did they get this ideology from? And how verily and certainly these groups and such ideologies have nothing and absolutely no link to Islam nor to the Muslims. Indeed, what these terrorist organizations do are far, far away from the guidance of the prophets and the guidance of his progeny. Rather, these terrorist organizations inspire their actions from power-hungry individuals whom usurped power and caused a deviation like no other, forecasting a dark shadow upon this nation, causing ravage, bloodshed, and terror throughout the centuries and until this day today. Indeed, the one who watches this film, which has brought all of the narrations, all of the reports, condensed it in a spectacular 2-hour, 19-minute story that gives to the audience a condensed and an insightful, as they said, an insightful answer, an insightful understanding to all of the questions pondered throughout the last 50 or so years. In the feature, or in the featuring the story of the lady, the filmmakers also had to work around delicate issues, depicting a holy figure on the screen. There are many religious codes with rules regarding the proper way to show sacred figures. The filmmakers did a copious amounts of research prior to filmmaking in order to abide by these codes and show respect to the communities in which the lady originates. One of the most important things to mention is that we put extreme time and effort to make sure that the film is historically accurate. So everything is backed by historical texts. Then you come to how those texts are interpreted, which is where the healthy conversations and differences that people may have, said 𝗦𝗨𝗕𝗦𝗕𝗦𝗧𝗕𝗦𝗙, filmmaker. The film uses groundbreaking technology to keep in line with these codes and show respect for Islamic tradition, while depicting the lady's story as accurately as possible. Following Islamic tradition, no individual represented a holy personality during the making of this film. The holy personalities, or the performances of the holy personalities were achieved through a unique synthesis of actors, in camera effects, lighting and visual effects, stated the film producers. Production has faced much uncertainty amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, but the filmmakers have worked exceptionally hard to ensure their film is perfect and appealing to audiences everywhere. Audiences are in for a treat once the Lady of Heaven hits theaters. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it is my honor to open this show to you. And as you can see, the number is displayed on the screen. It is my honor at this time to receive your calls and your feedback and your input upon the release of the Lady of Heaven film trailer. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to know, what is your ideas upon hearing of the story? I'd like to know, how did you find the trailer of the story? The trailer to the film The Lady of Heaven. How did you find it? I would like to hear what stood out for you in the trailer. It is my honor to hear your voices reacting to the trailer and voicing out your opinions regarding the Lady of Heaven trailer and what is surrounding it, from events, from enemies, from supporters, from aspersers, let's call them. I would like to hear your voices. The number is displayed on the screen. I await your calls, ladies and gentlemen. I will also be interacting with the lady or with the YouTube chat. I now am looking at the YouTube chat and I see multiple brothers and sisters tuning in, and I will be happy to read out your questions through the YouTube chat on the live show and answer it if capable. I can see a question from 𝗦𝗨𝗥𝗕𝗦𝗖𝗥𝗓𝗔. Brother Ali, when will the soundtrack of the movie be released? Well, which soundtrack are you referring to? There are many soundtracks, but I'm guessing it's the soundtrack being heard in the trailer, possibly sometime after the release of the film. Ladies and gentlemen, I await your questions, I await your calls. I am more than happy to hear your voices, and I give you this chance, inshallah, to voice out your opinions, to voice out your thoughts on this spectacular incident. I see, ladies and gentlemen, multiple brothers and sisters tuning in the YouTube chat. I see a question from 値𝗓𝗓𝗔𝗧𝗜𝗢𝗔𝗧𝗜𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗓𝗔𝗔𝗓𝗔𝗔𝗓𝗔𝗔𝗓𝗔𝗔𝗓𝗔𝗔𝗓𝗓𝗔𝗓𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔 𝗦𝗦𝗕𝗦𝗧𝗜𝗙𝗧. When will the coming films published? When will the coming films published, and about what will the coming films be? I'm guessing that the question is referring to what are the ideas for the upcoming films, because as Shaykh al-Habib has stated in a recent live show that this film is merely a starter, and that if Allah grants us tawfiq and life, we will continue be propagating our message and conveying it to the world through these creative, unique means such as films, series, perhaps in the future. So definitely we have many ideas coming for the upcoming films, inshaAllah. Definitely we will be, inshaAllah, covering the events that transpired in the life of the Commander of the Faithfuls, the battles that was incharged upon him. Definitely Aisha will be an interesting character to show to the world, or to convey to the world, her true character and her actions committed. We have many ideas, and Shaykh al-Habib has already, or is already noting and planning, engineering, I should say, his plans or ideas for the upcoming films. We only ask for you to keep us in your prayers and stand with us firmly in supporting al-Muhammad alayhimus salam and carrying their message to the nations. We have a question from 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗢𝗥𝗓𝗢𝗙. Brother Ali, when is the official release? I've heard different dates from different people who are affiliated with yourself, but still there are no official dates. I would say, dear brother Sayyid, the release date is not yet specified. However, stay tuned and put your eyes out for the upcoming week. The upcoming week, there will be an announcement, there will be news outlets covering the latest updates for the Lady of Heaven film. And of course, due to the coronavirus pandemic, the delay for the Lady of Heaven occurred, or the release for the Lady of Heaven has occurred. Often people misunderstood the date that was specified on the IMDb website, film's website, which was, as I recall, the 30th of December. Of course, this was an estimate date put a year before the 30th of December 2020. It was merely an estimate. However, inshallah, very soon you will hear what you have been waiting for. And inshallah, as the events transpires, as restrictions ease due to the COVID pandemic, as the restrictions ease, we will be able to dictate and specify a release date, which you will all hear, ladies and gentlemen, from the official website of the Lady of Heaven. Make sure to follow the YouTube or the Twitter accounts related to the Lady of Heaven. Definitely follow the Lady of Heaven Twitter accounts. Follow the Lady of Heaven on Facebook, and keep an eye out for the Lady of Heaven website, and make sure to follow the producer at 𝗬𝗎𝗥𝗧 if the admin of the 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗣𝗢𝗢 YouTube chats can put the his tag, or put the tag of Brother Abdul Malik, the producer of the film. Definitely follow him and keep your eye out for the next coming week, ladies and gentlemen. And a very important push, a very important breach, a very important, let's say, progress will be heard in the next coming week, inshallah. Keep an eye out, ladies and gentlemen, keenly. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We have another question from Brother Nihat. Will the film also published in Turkish and German, or are there any plans for this? As of yet, dear brother, the languages that I am aware of, or that I recall as of this moment, is Spanish, French, and another language, or perhaps only language, as of Western languages, or non-Arabic, of course. Other than Arabic, it will be French and Spanish. German and Turkish are as of yet not on the plan. However, definitely, inshallah, if our Turkish brothers, our German brothers and sisters ask for it, perhaps, maybe, if the Enlightened Kingdom production is sent this request or demand, perhaps they may take this into consideration to translate the film into the aforementioned languages. We have another question. Fist of the North Star. Will this film be dubbed into Russian? So many Russians are open to tashayyu'. Indeed, so many Russians are intrigued, and especially those from Islamic backgrounds. They want to know more regarding tashayyu', and we've had a number of Russian converts actually who came to tashayyu', bihamdillahi ta'ala. Definitely, as of yet, as mentioned, the languages that the film will be dubbed into is Arabic, French, and Spanish. Definitely, future languages are to be considered, inshallah, and Russian, German is definitely up for consideration. We have another question. Brother Ali, how will the relation be between the Sahaba and the Prophets in the movie? I would say, brother, that the relation between the Prophet and the Sahaba, as in general, will be portrayed according to academic, well-established historical records. There wouldn't be this imaginary tale that you see or that you hear from the Bakris or the so-called Sunnis in the pulpits. There will be a correct, historically accurate depiction between the companions of the Messenger and the Prophet. And indeed, each and every single scene portrayed in this film will be up for discussion and we are more than happy and actually delighted, rather can't contain our weight and excitement for putting the books at the table, putting the research papers at the table, perhaps debating with one of the known speakers in the English world, in the Arabic world, and putting the events of the film, of the story that has been told through the film, up for research and discussion. And over here, we would know who has the strong hand and who has the right, insightful oversight, holistic, let's call it holistic reading of the Islamic corpus, away from the fabrications that you hear, the fake things that you hear. Yes, the Sahaba were all upon one heart and one way, and they all were with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, fighting for his cause and being loyal to him, and nothing happened between the companions. They are all upon, على الأرائك ينظرون, the verse in the Quran. They are upon raised thrones, looking at each other, and إلى آخره, taking the verse out of context, of course, as what they usually do with the Bakri sect. None of these things, none of these imaginary talks that you hear. No. The film will be, inshallah, depicting a historically accurate narrative, inshallah. We have a caller who is with us. We have Brother Mustafa from Denmark. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Mustafa. I am unable to hear the brother if he is speaking. Brother Mustafa, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. I hear you there, brother. Brother Mustafa? Assalamu alaikum, Brother Mustafa. Can you hear me? I'm not sure if I can hear him. Brother Mustafa from Denmark, you are on the live show right now. The world hears you, or the world hears you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hear you, dear brother. Welcome to the show. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you. Alhamdulillah. It's great. Glad to hear your voice again after our meeting, but back again.
Sorry, Director, can you raise his volume, because I can barely hear him. Yes, dear Brother Mustafa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Is my voice clear as well?
I hear you clearly now. Welcome, dear brother.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, just to share a few thoughts regarding the topic at hand, which is comparing, as far as I know, how the Ansar reacted, or how the Ansar at the beginning promised to support 𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗡𝗧𝗜𝗢𝗙, and how the people today view the film and so on. So essentially, a lot of people when I've actually talked to them about this issue, about the movie, and they're genuine brothers. It's not like they're hypocrites or they have this hate towards the issue of bala, or the issue of dissociation, but they change the issue to a more personal level, because they state, for example, that one scholar has a certain opinion about other individuals, therefore we're not going to support this project because this person speaks about XYZ personality. And it's quite a disappointing mentality that we have generally in the Shia community. And again, Sheikh al-Habib has actually many times tried to highlight this issue that we actually need to mature up. This isn't the nursery, where you just sit around with the kids that you like, because this is bigger than us. This is bigger than I like this person because he has these statements, I dislike this person because he has such statements. And this idea, when we correlate, for example, how the Jews with each other. Right? You will see an Orthodox Jew and a liberal Jew and a secular atheist Jew working with each other at utmost highest level to ensure the progression of generally the lifestyle of Jews. But we can't even support the voice of 𝗧𝗨𝗥𝗡𝗦 al-Kubra because some scholar, he has an opinion against XYZ personality. And this is really childish, and it's disappointing actually that people have this really surface-based سطحي view on things, that they don't have a nuance. So yeah, I mean that's one of the main thoughts that I've had in my head during this time, because even in the West, people, they always focus on other things. Scholars have written books, for example, or this person has made some numerous speeches. And I've highlighted that. In fact, there's been some statistics about, for example, archaeology. Right, there was a certain surge of people who actually studied archaeology to such a level that they became professors. And the statistics show the correlation between the Indiana Jones movies and people wanting to, pursue a career in archaeology. And when these professors were asked, they said one of the main things that actually got us into archaeology was the movie. So it wasn't that they read books or that they, would listen to lectures, because most people are not like this, right? Entertainment is the easiest way of attaining knowledge, attaining end. So, and even if we can just have some sort of effect on the mainstream view of Islam, because in reality, whether we like this or not, people think of us as terrorists. Whether you call yourself a Shia or you call yourself a so-called Sunni, you're viewed the same way. So this movie, as even Sheikh al-Habib mentioned previously, a lot of times the actual workers or the individuals who are involved in this project were so shocked at how merciful the Prophet ﷺ, what it is. And this is true. Our narrations, for example, al-Kafi, there are plentiful, authentic narrations in chains where, for example, Rasulullah ﷺ freed 1,000 slaves.
Excellent.
Because there's a Sahih hadith from Abu Bakr al-Kafi, when he's describing the Prophet ﷺ, he said, أعتق ألف عبد, or something like this. He freed 1,000 slaves. Again, this word 1,000, it isn't just indicative of the number 1000, like 1,000. Because in the Arabic language, there isn't actually a number that's higher than 1,000. We don't have a number that's higher than, for example, when we say a million, we say alf. That's a million. So this is a way for the Imam to basically underline the insane number of individuals that the Prophet freed from slavery. And today, when people discuss Rasulullah ﷺ, they claim he was this slave master, he owned slaves, and and all these disgusting issues that have nothing to do with the Prophet ﷺ.
Exactly.
So this movie will definitely tackle these issues, because I can sit here and talk all day, present narrations, write blogs. We can sit here and make videos, but it's a lot different when you're watching it in entertainment. And a lot of people, they actually need to understand that. This is an issue way bigger than, you support X Sheikh, for example, whether you support Sheikh al-Habib or you don't. This is way bigger than that. This is about Islam. It's about religion. So yeah,
well said, dear brother. Well said. Excellently said, to be honest. You're totally right, and prudently assessed the situation. Regarding your point, where the Westerner is unable to differ between a Shia or a so-called Sunni, a Sufi, or any type of, or any other sects, for example, this is true. They are unable to differ. They think all Muslims are what they see on the media: terrorists, killers, bloodthirsty individuals, sabi and ila ghayri dhalik. This is their views. This is their views of Islam. And for the first time in history, for the very first time, we shall portray our version of events. Finally, inshallah, where the Westerner is able then to differ between the Shi'i, those who held on to the Prophet and his progeny, and from those who followed the government at the time resembling around Abu Bakr ibn Abi Quhafa. They'll be able to make these differences. They'll be able to recognize this difference. These have a road, the Shias have a road, and the Bakris, or those who refer to themselves as Sunnis, have a different road. No longer will we be affected or tarnished by the actions that we haven't done, by the actions of the others. No longer, inshallah. And regarding your point with regards to Shaykh al-Habib and those who have, I would say, very shortage, the least I can say about them is that they have shortage in eyesight. They have shortage in assessment, to be able to assess prudently. يعني قصر في النظر, as they say. They are unable, and this is the least I can say. This is the least I can say. Yani you would, because you disagree with the man behind the film, you would go and fight the Lady of Heaven. You would try not to suppress her voice. You would try to attack the movie and say this film should not be released, and work so tirelessly to stop the film from being released. Merely for what? Because of disagreements. Because of disagreements with, or enmity, I should say, enmity with the person behind the film. If that is not a shortage of assessment, a shortage of sight, then what is? We both agree that the Lady of Heaven, Fatima alayhi salam, has been suppressed for over 1,000 years, for over a millennium. We all agree, and we read the ahadith of our infallible Imams alayhi salam, that's Imam after Imam. All of them were in agony when they mentioned the Lady of Heaven, when they mentioned the Lady of Fatima. How can you, after all of this, sorry to cut you off there, brother, how can you, after all of this, still try to step on the wounds of Ahlul Bayt and try to suppress, rather suffocate, the voice of the Lady of Heaven, merely because of the person behind the film? Wallahi al-Azim. If there was a company or a jihah or a person or a foundation or an organization or an establishment that came and made this project, which is to convey the message of Fatima to the world, to convey the message of the Lady of Heaven to the world, remove this shadow that has been forecasted upon this ummah, this darkness that has been forecasted upon this ummah, and even if we had differences with them, wallahi, we would put our hands in their hands, support them with whatever they have to be supported with, financially, physically, whatever they have, as long as the goal is one. We put aside our differences. This is how we show that we are truly lovers of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and truly sincere in our cause. Not because of 𝗦𝗨𝗕𝗦𝗢𝗐 dunyawiyya or worldly gains, and we don't want certain individuals to have this honor that they made this film, they have this esteemed thing that they have made this film right now. This is how you think, not how we think. And you pointing at the enemy, of course. This is how you think. You are after worldly desires and worldly gains. You don't want this to be recorded for that person, for the personality spoken of. You want it to be recorded for yourself. You want it to be recorded for your organization. Merely because Fulan, the person that we are speaking of, has differences or asperses known figures whom we deem to be, for example, either hypocrites, deviants or etc. You would rather not give that support to him. This is truly a weakness in assessment, a shortage in sight, and that's the least that one can say. Yes, dear brother.
Even in accordance to the point you made about the suppression of 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗣𝗢𝗦, her voice, there's a very well-known story during the time of 𝗦𝗨𝗥𝗡, when a woman, she fell, and when she fell, she says, لَعْنَ اللَّهُ قَاتِلِيكِ يَا فَاطِمَةَ, something like this. May Allah curse your enemies, O Fatima.
Yes.
Now, if we, as Muslims, anyone, he even calls himself from Imam Khalifun or from the Shia, no one has an issue with such a statement. But what happened to this young woman or this lady? She was in fact arrested by the government or the regime, or the so-called Khilafah, the Hukam, the rulers during her time, the Abbasids. and she was taken. Again, the story ends with the Imam basically interceding for her and saving her from the troubles that happened.
Of course.
But just the statement alone, 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗣𝗦𝗧𝗜𝗢𝗙 caused so much troubles for her. Even though she said nothing wrong. I mean, if we all claim to be Muslims, we would have no issue with cursing enemies of 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗣𝗢𝗦. SubhanAllah, she is the Rasulullah ﷺ has given her a title that is unexplainable. The mother of her father. Now, some have gone and understood this on a sathi based level, on a surface based level, that she cared for the Prophet when she was a child, like a mother cares for her son and so on. I mean, there's obviously there's a truth to that understanding, but there's a way more ghaibi, unseen interpretation and understanding of such a hadith, such a status. And other narrations of for example, 𝗬𝗓𝗦𝗓𝗦𝗓𝗦 لولا فاطمة لما خلقتكما, something like this, like when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hadith al-Qudsi,
yes,
it talks to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, if it were not for Fatima, I would not have created the both of you.
Sahih.
So her maqam is, it's unimaginable. And it's very important. I mean, also, a lot of people when they present their theological arguments today, they go with this kind of a modern framework that we have, for example, women leaders, and we have different types of components of the society that are leaders in our religion. We have all this. We have, for example, black individuals. Some of our imams were black, because I've been reading online with some ignorant individuals that say basically we're being racist. Why? Because Umar ibn al-Khattab and we use black. This is idiocy. First and foremost, the historical records, the research based on the historical records have concluded that the man was black. This is not an insult, nor is it a praise. It's just how he was. Imam al-Jawad, his mother was from Ethiopia.
Correct.
Imam al-Jawad was a black man. Now, what does that mean? It means nothing to us.
Correct.
So there's a lot of...
It is because of their iftiqar, dear brother. It's because they are poor.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, what can they come up with this movie? The quality was beautiful. The storyline is amazing. And it is a phenomenal, exceptional achievement for the Shia in this century. What can they come up with? They try to spark these things that may get attention in the Western world, racism, etc.
Yeah.
They know that these things are far from it. And I remember that I wrote a thread on Twitter, answering this, and I found it, a good chance to actually express some of the things that I wrote about in the tweets. Let's be honest. These things would not have surfaced if it's not Sheikh al-Habib behind the film, because it is well known and it is established that Umar ibn al-Khattab, Aisha, Abu Bakr, Hafsa were dark-skinned, and that's not a defect. As we said, the Imams were dark-skinned. It's not the fact that they are dark-skinned, therefore that they are made bad. Their argument was what? Their argument was that, you made the bad characters in the film black. What do you mean? Calm down. Isn't Bilal black? Isn't Bilal black? Isn't Fidda black? Come on.
Yeah.
Don't go into low things, and don't go to low levels. Raise yourself a little bit higher.
Cheap shots.
Yeah, don't try to do cheap shots, because they don't even work. They did not work. Aslan, where is the claim now? Brother Mustafa, where is it now? It's like this is a very long time ago. We heard that once upon a time they made the accusation of that racism. Where is it now? Where is it now? They are exactly disappeared. They found it that did not work. They disappeared. Evaporated. And just to comment once again, our Imams alayhimus salam were dark-skinned, and it is not a defect.
No.
I have a few minutes, inshallah. I'll just conclude here. Our Imams alayhimus salam were dark-skinned. Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam was dark-skinned. There's a narration in ثناء الإمام al-Tabari where a man sees Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam on a camel, and the Imam alayhi salam was wearing a black turban and black cloth, and he himself was black, of course, or he was close to being dark black. So that man said in his heart, سواد في سواد في سواد, blackness in blackness in blackness, saying in his heart to the Imam alayhi salam. The Imam drew closer to him and said, you're saying blackness in blackness in blackness, سواد في سواد في سواد, إنما ذلك لسواد قلبك. Verily, this is for the darkness of your heart. And this is a narration that is reliable, as is Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam was black. Rather, from the Imams, from Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam, from Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam, the seventh Imam of the Shia, Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kadhim, until Imam al-Mahdi, Ajalallahu ta'ala farjahu sharif, our awaited Imam, they are all dark-skinned. They're all dark-skinned. So you attempting, try something harder, please. Try something harder. Brother Mustafa, I'd just like to conclude quickly, even though the time for the show has surpassed. Maybe I'll just take, if I request, 3 or 4 minutes. I'd like to ask you, Brother Mustafa, how was your initial reaction to the Lady of Heaven film trailer?
Well, it's a funny question because I was sitting with a brother who's he's not practicing and he's from the other sect, and we're sitting in the car together. And as soon as it was released, I was like, "Park, let's watch it together." So we sat down and watched it, and we were just both in shock. From the quality, from the way that the editing, the quick jump from different scenes back and forth. It was really, really an incredible scene, especially when scene where Amir al-Mu'mineen unsheathes 𝗙𝗢𝗦𝗕𝗘 and just charges towards the army of the disbelievers. As As-Siddiq al-Kubra mentions in our khutbah, فَأَلْقَى أَخَاهُ فِي something in lines of that he would throw his brother, as in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa would throw his brother Ali ibn Abi Talib towards the army, and he would attack without any fear, because she was talking about how Amir al-Mu'mineen, you've taken the Khilafah, and Amir al-Mu'mineen, he is the one who ensured the protection of Islam whilst you were all hiding. So this was very, very well shown. One of the scenes, very incredible, and also the Aqaba scene where the hypocrites tried to kill Rasulullah. It's very, very incredible. Because we've all read this in books, we've all heard this in sermons, we all know this, but then to actually see it actualized on screen, it's really, really incredible. It's just it brings goosebumps to the body. So
what stood out to you? What was your favorite scene that really caught your attention?
Yeah, I think my favorite scene was definitely that one where unsheathes his sword and just charges towards the enemy
and sprinted towards the army.
Yeah. Really,
a good thing to mention here is that there are principles in battle. Those who conduct research regarding battles and etc. would realize this, that there are principles, there are certain principles, rules for battle, and especially battles with large armies. There are lines, there are ranks in battles. The army is made of the heart, which is the middle. Then there is the right wing, the left wing, the as-saqa, or the let's say the back of the army, and the front or the forward of the army. Al-qalbu wal-maymanatu wal-maysaratu wal-saqatu wal-muqaddimah. This is the formation of the army. In order for the army to advance, they advance as one, yes? And the lines are quite tight, so the other force, the other army, doesn't breach into their ranks, causing ravage and havoc in their forces or in their lines, in their ranks. So they move forward as one, and they retreat as one. Imam Ali alayhi salam, the lion of Allah, the commander of the faithfuls, used to not abide by these standards or these rules set for battle. And we make sure that this scene or this understanding is there in the film. And as can seen by in the trailer, these runs, these footsteps that you see, this charge of Amir al-Mu'mineen is what we try to show to the world. That Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam used to, the army of the Muslims are still running, or trying or moving as one. Imam Ali is already in the middle of the other army. This is what we're trying to say. This is what we're trying to produce or depict. Imam Ali alayhi salam used to delve into the army of the enemy. يبيده عن بكرة أبيه. This is Ali ibn Talib alayhi salam. Yes. May Allah bless you, Brother Mustafa. I've got the message from the director that we will have to conclude this show. Ladies and gentlemen, we conclude this show, inshallah. I urge the brothers and sisters whom are listening to me now, and sadly we did not have the chance to present some of the pictures, some of the activities that have been sent to us through the brothers and sisters worldwide in dissemination for this film, sharing this film, putting posters in the streets, working tirelessly day and night to spread the movie. We do not have time to present these images. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be with you next week, inshallah, and covering a very important update regarding the Lady of Heaven trailer, regarding the Lady of Heaven film. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure and ensure to follow the Lady of Heaven accounts and follow the producer's account, 𝗦𝗨𝗕𝗦𝗧𝗜𝗢𝗥𝗧. Follow him in order for you to have the film's latest updates in the coming week. There will be a very important announcement, a very important update regarding the film. Ensure that you are keeping a keen eye upon the surroundings and upon the news outlets and upon the accounts to ensure that you are acquainted, or you have reached, or the news has reached you, and you are able to contribute, inshallah, in the futures for the future dissemination and widespread of the film, inshallah. Ladies and gentlemen, until next week on the Ali al-Habib show, we conclude. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah.